In run 3 of my Disgaea 4 generic only Ironman run, I decided to add more counters because you can never have enough counters for this kind of thing. So I have a cast val counter and I have a global death counter to keep track of all my past mistakes. We begin by looking at my new units, Uber, Watt and 2. Upon getting through all these tutorial maps, I unlock character creation and I proceed to make myself 2 units. The first unit, funnily enough, ends up with the name Liliana, which is entirely randomized. This is funny because if you play Fire Emblem, you know that Fire Emblem 6 is the one I suffered through the most. I also create a Valkyrie with the name Celestia. I proceed to move on to the next map, which I clear with no issues, and I don't have any losses that are notable until the Amizel fight, which I lose a whopping 6 units. I open the fight by sacrificing 2 Brinnies for minimal damage. I throw them using my Valkyrie and my Warrior, and I then proceed to group all my units up in the corner in a box formation. My Thief is the first to die along with my Valkyrie and Mage, who are destroyed by Amizel's Bloodlust, but they are swiftly avenged and I clear the map. With 3 more recruitable units now under my belt for the chapter completion, I make a replacement Wind Mage called Reggie and proceed to farm him up off screen, but you can see that on my stream if you were to catch it. Creating Reggie proved worth it, however, because he ends up doing a lot of damage to this chapter's slimes, which is very handy for the upcoming Amizel fight. I will show footage of stage 1 of chapter 2 and I'll show footage of stage 3 because I didn't get to show stage 1 because I lost the footage last time. So this map is a basic geoblock puzzle where you have to transport a green geoblock from the start of the map to the end so you can kill some enemies at the other side of a wall and complete the map. I'm now showing you the correct way to beat map 2 of chapter 2, where you have to break the green block on the blue space to make every space no ranged so the magic users can't spam you to death with magic. I then proceed to finish the map with no problems and take down all the mages without any losses. Because my fighter got plenty of kills in this map and leveled up, I was able to promote him into a warrior after the battle as well. On to the next map, Forest of Corpses. I cleared it with no casualties and blocked off one of the sides using Geoblock and used my warrior to kill the rest of the enemies coming from the other side. I begin the next map that failed my run last time, and it starts off much better with my mage instantly killing the 3 slimes on the bridge. It was also a big help taking out all the zombies. I then moved on to moving the Geoblocks again this time. I still used them to do damage to the enemies on the other side of the bridge, but this time it was much more successful because I had lots of party members still left over. My warrior kills Amizel and I clear the map with no issue. I begin the Fuka fight with no problems whatsoever as I box all my units into the area that isn't a warp zone, as most of the floor in this map will just warp you around at random. I deal with most of the enemies and I take down Fuka swiftly. It really wasn't much of an issue and I had no casualties whatsoever in this map at all. I should note some item world grinding was done before I did this map. The next map is pretty complicated as the whole map has no range blocks and it's covered in slimes, so I had to move my mage accordingly to remove the effect, and I end up losing my healer as a process of this because she ends up taking a lot of damage from the Geoblock puzzle. The rest of the map goes smoothly, but this is the map that made me have to rearrange some rules around Geopuzzle effects. I also had to make a small amendment to the rule about not using main characters, whereupon if you are lacking characters to actually complete a map, like if there's a gap that needs to be thrown across, then it's alright to use main characters for that as long as they're not contributing in battle. Chapter 3 opens up with a run ender as I instantly lose my Wind Mage and my healer, and it's only a matter of time before my brawler dies too. I realise in my next run that I'm going to need to do a bit of grinding up between chapters 2 and 3 and hopefully not lose my units in the process of this. Considering this is a map where Amizel shows up again in the story, I'm pinning all my deaths on him, and Death Amizel has claimed even more souls and forced me to restart another run.